Hello, welcome to another good goal or bad defending. Crystal Palace versus West Ham. I thought West Ham needed this win, honestly, to kind of stay up. I think they're going to stay up anyway. They've got enough points, but they could desperately have done with this one. So we're looking, the ball's coming in from a corner, as we can see. I actually like this. That's solid. Good job by both of them, to be honest. What are you doing, buddy? Are you just wandering around? Are you on a picnic? What are you doing? What are you doing? So when the ball comes in, you can see there's a big, massive melee of people here, and that always causes problems when you have that. So if you have a melee of people and then you have someone sort of separated, this happens. Dumph. He panics because he sees a melee, knocks it out. All of a sudden, balls in the back of the net. That is terrible, terrible defending. And the reason that this guy's just absolutely panicked. Look at that. Look at that. He's on his own there. Well, kinda. He's in between the pack and the player, and he couldn't do anything with that ball, and he just knocks it straight into the middle of the goal here for someone to smash the ball in the goal, and they oblige and do it straight away. Terrible. Normally I'll be yelling about someone being on the post, but it doesn't seem to matter in this case because it was straight down the middle anyway. But that was just terrible defending. You can't put the ball back into the front of your own goal like that and expect them not to kick it in the goal. Terrible. Here we are coming up to this next goal. You can see the pass has just come in straight into here, and we got a problem. Here it is. That's the problem right there. Disconnecting the shape. He needs to get closer to his centre back or get him to come back, because all of a sudden you're in no man's land, or you're in no man's land, depending on where the ball is. And it's actually you. It's actually you. You're the problem. But this guy here, I don't know. He picks the ball up so cleanly, under no pressure, and there's 5 players around him. I don't get how you can have 5 players around you and there's no pressure on the ball so he can do what he wants. And what he wants to do is pass it into this massive space anywhere along here. That's the space that's dangerous. That's the most dangerous space right here. Let's see what he does. Picks it up, goes to do the turn. Now you can see that danger in that separation, because that guy's so far forward. Look, he is so far forward and so far disconnected. This guy just gets to run in behind. And this guy's got a choice to make. You don't see this very often anymore, where he just steps up and gambles that he's going to stay on side with him. Normally they just go with the runner. They don't actually have a think about, oh, if I step up, can I catch him offside? They just go with the run, which he does. And as he goes with the run, boom, it's too late. It's in the back of the goal. And as you can see, there's a load of problems here, but that's my biggest concern. This guy's gone too far forward. He's got away from his centre back. As I say, I like to use the rule of thumb, is where the posts are is kind of the furthest point you want to go forward as a centre back. That's kind of the furthest point he wants to go forward, and he's gone past it. Let's get on to the next goal. We're going to jump through a couple of these and not just play them through. I jump through the frames, if that makes sense. You'll see what I mean in a minute. So we've got a long ball coming through here. Now we've got a 3v1 situation. This is important because this sets up the goal here, the panic, because someone has literally just kicked the ball down the field and they didn't deal with it. So all of a sudden, West Ham in trouble, Crystal Palace are on the attack. This here enables them to get into this space and put in a cross, which they do. Let's get to that point where they put the cross in. Here we are. They're putting in the cross. All of a sudden now, those two, good job, boys. As soon as the ball's gone out wide, you're going in the box to create some problems. There's a man pointing. What happens when a man's pointing in the Premier League? The goal goes in. He might not actually be pointing. I think he's just running like a bit of an idiot. But he is checking the back post, so I've got to give him credit for that. He is actually looking to see, because he sees there's no players there, so now he's actually trying to see what he can do and mark someone on the back post, because he's assuming that one of these 3 players here are going to mark these 2 players running in here. It's a shock, boys. Premier League, they don't do that. As we go, he's checking, he's stopped looking. Now he needs to turn and look and deal with the ball. Right, he's done too much. He sees that guy's being marked now. Now he needs just to turn, check, and look at the ball to make sure he's doing his job properly, and everything's going to be okay. Ball comes in. This guy's now got too much space. Look, do you see this defender slow down and guard the post instead of actively going to challenge for the ball and leave him that space there? The ball's still got to travel there. He can still get there. He's still got time. He doesn't. Dumph. And that's because he slows down. Let's see if we can show it one more time. actively slowing down his run. Dump, 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 dump. See, he's slowing his round. Dump, dump, dump. Instead of just going to mark and get to the player, there's the tap in on the back post. This guy's really disappointing here as well. So he was marking him, but all of a sudden, when the ball's coming to here, he's panicked and forgot that he had a job to do back here and mark this guy. Like this guy here just switched off. There's a man here on the back post, buddy. You've been marking him for 5 minutes. Why haven't you done it? And it just taps it the ball in the goal. Terrible defending. 2 players. We're starting to see a few more goals like this. Bayern Munich did one the other week. If you go back and look at one I was covering in the Champions League, and it's happening more and more. And a lot of it is because defenders haven't really been taught how to play the ball out of the back correctly and why they pass the ball and for what purpose. So they just do it. This is how we're supposed to build out of the back. This is our coaching session that we've been run 100 times, and this is what we do, but not why you do it. So if you know the why, then you don't put yourself in situations like this. They don't know the why. So what's happened is players jogging in. Here he comes. He can see him. But what this player's not done, there's 2 things he's not done, actually. One, he's not identified that this player is actually running. So that means he's going to intercept the ball. He's timed his run to perfection, so he gets there at the same time as the pass. The other thing he's not done, because he's not watched that, if he's seen that guy there, he's just getting rid of the ball. But of course, he doesn't know why he's passing into this guy here. What he's passing in is to draw out the midfielders onto him. So if you've got them here and he's running towards you, you can pass the ball past him into the space that he has now run away from. But because they didn't teach you that, what they taught you was you've got to build up the ball from the back. Yeah, but not why. So when he goes to make this pass, he doesn't do it with enough power. And all of a sudden, this player here is caught because this guy is at full pace. Let's have a little watch. Boom. Oh, full pace. He's in trouble now. He's got to accelerate. His first touch is terrible because he's panicked. And the ball's in the back of the goal. Terrible defending. And it's worse than that because they're babysitters and didn't teach these babies what exactly they should have been doing and why they should have done it. As soon as he identified that player running up and leaving that space behind, which was the only thing I really cared about, his pass was rubbish, yeah, but if he identifies that player running up to him and he just puts it straight in behind that player and they go down the other end of the field, but he doesn't know why he's got to pass to this player, so he just does it because that's what they're supposed to do. Terrible. I blame the babysitters, not the babies in this one. Let's get on to the next one. Actually, before we get on to the next one, I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about here. Because if he had identified this player coming in here, he could have put the ball past that line into there, and these guys are away. But he didn't. He didn't even read what was going on there. And to be honest, he could have even walked a little bit closer. As soon as that guy starts running, he could have run this way and then made the pass in. Would have been even easier for him. And he had a player on the run, which he could have done that too. But he had no idea to identify that this is where the ball wants to go in the first place and not just follow his moronic coaching session that his babysitter did for him. Let's get ready for another goal where someone on the post could have saved it. I guess it's going to happen because it happens in the Premier League every single game. Let's see what happens. Ball comes over. Bump. Man at the back post unmarked. Unbelievable. I don't know how. I honestly genuinely don't know how this happens. He's just completely unmarked, just ghosted, gone across. Again, if there was a man on the back post, he would come out and challenge this guy and he wouldn't get a free header. He might still score, but he wouldn't get a free header. Jeez, this is just awful. Let's have a little clip. Dump. Oh, it's in the post. What a shock. Sorry, it's in the post. It's in the net box. He's got it in the net box. What a shock. It's not like we see that every single week, is it? Don't care about the next goal because it was a penalty. But I did watch it a little bit, and it's one of those ones where it's not really, but it kind of is, where it could have gone either way. But what he did do, the defender, to give it, and then when the player was falling down, was grab his shirt. I reckon if he hadn't grabbed his shirt on the way down, he would have got away with that one. But he didn't. Grabbed his shirt. Penalty decision. Who cares? Next goal. Why who care on penalty decisions is because they're also genuinely they're all. If you're on the side of West Ham, it's never a penalty. If you're on the side of Crystal Palace, it is. So it's one of those things. It's really hard to sort of, because everyone's opinion is just going to be polarised one way or the other. No one is actually going to have a sensible, rational an opinion of a penalty and go, yeah, well, it is kind of one and it isn't. I see why he's given it, but yeah, you don't get normal opinions or sensible takes on them. So I just don't bother talking about them. Well, here we go. We've got another corner coming in. Let's have a guess what's going to happen. Is there people unmarked? Yes, there's 2. Liking that though, there's people actually covering my favourite spot to cover, the D. If you ever see me in a game of football, I will be stood up. There's two places I stand on corners. One is about there, and one is on the penalty spot. Whether I'm defending it or attacking it, that's what I do. I'm not going in anywhere closer than that because I refuse to head the ball. When the comes in here, obviously, this is why I want someone on the back post, because if there is someone on that back stick right there, all of this unmarked space here, now he's responsible for, because that's kind of his place, and the guy on this post here would just kind of be, that's kind of his space, right? So he'd be way more impactful here because he can see more and he's got to do more. But this guy, if he's on a back stick right now, would stop this goal straight away, just like the last one we had. In it comes, Blump. Everyone is jumping, right? And the thing is, they're not running and jumping. They're stood still and jumping. Back post, yeah, he might have got it. He might not. But I reckon there's a good 80% chance that he saves that. And 80% chance is a good reason for me to have someone on the back stick. And this is what I'm talking about right here. Is on this part right here, we've got this. You can see this space clearly. You've got 1, 2, 3. Look at them. 1, 2, 3, 4 players ball watching, and 2 unmarked. As the ball comes in. By the way, I don't know what's going on over here. That's kind of interesting, actually. But guy on the post could be any one of these 3 and gets rid of that ball, or a good chance of it. As I said earlier, 80% chance that he gets rid of that ball and it's not a goal. That's the reason you put him on the post, so this doesn't happen.